we got later.
Oh, yeah, and I'm not talking about Harry Smile. We're talking about this next matchup. We're talking about Train, Chad.
Yeah, so as I was saying, this is the map that NIP have had relative success on. And I think something to look out for them is we already did see Lecro and Dennis AWPing. They have 4 players on their team who don't mind picking up the AWP. Rez uses it on Inferno from time to time. We've also seen Forrest be the primary AWPer for this team. All we can say is that Ninjas in Pyjamas need to step up, and hopefully they have a better showing this time around, because Astralis are just doing what Astralis do best.
Well, these next 2 gentlemen, you might have noticed them on the camera, is in fact the other side of this this quadruple sort of talent desk we're running here. We do have Hellboy and his friend Hugo. Let's talk a little bit about perhaps what do you guys think going into Train?
Well, one worry again is that Astralis is just going to absolutely smash Nip out. But one thing I kind of wanted to talk about and get your kind of opinion on as well, Chad, in terms of the money system and the new loss bonuses, is when we see occasionally teams go for 1 AK buys and they drop it over and they send a rifle player into a second round after maybe getting pistol. Do you think we're going to see more of that now? Because the game is getting more and more T-sided anyway as we go on.
I think for teams who already have that in their playstyle, like Na'Vi, they're just going to have more opportunities to do that, right? They're going to be buffed in that regard. You can get Electronic and Simple and AK a lot more of the time, right? That's something that they may even consider doing. I think something else to potentially consider, though, is, as Harry pointed out, the importance of those second rounds. Converting those are much more important now, because let's say you are the CT side, you get reset, you're down to that $1,400, Trace, and we all like more money than $1,400.
Everybody likes a good bit of money, and we do like the money shot, specifically the ones next to us, mainly just a Harry, and of course his friend Hugo, that are coming in here to deliver this Train action once again. Not the first time when the Train is at Harry.
No. Yeah, dude. I'm just excited, Trace. You know me. I'm always excited. Always ready to go. It's become a bit of a signature, but a staple for me, Hugo.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I'm over the moon. Astralis versus NIP, a second map. The map is Train. And I just love trains. It's such a win-win, You're always happy, Hugo, if you look on the bright side of life. You could learn a lesson or 2 from me. You could also learn a lesson or 2 from Dupree and how to tap on heads as he finds the first on a Forest. There's absolutely no way to trade that out if you're NIP. So they're going to head over here towards a B-bomb site where they don't look too comfortable either, because, you've got 2 players from Astralis there who I can't see because I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, Zipnix and Device, they've already pre-rotated a second player over. We just saw that after the pick came through on that A bomb site, so this is just going to make things easier and easier for Astralis. No smoke to cover off this angle from Device. He's above and beyond, already taking 2 kills, maybe a third, couple of bullets left in the clip, but it's not going to go his way. That's a magazine regardless. Either way, it's a nice clean round from Astralis. They've already been looking very, very fine today, Harry. 16-4 on that first map of Overpass, and now on Train. Take into account they got 16-4 and lost both pistols, so now that they've actually won one, it's definitely a big question mark on, okay, how many rounds are NIP actually going to get here? Because we need these ninjas to come out with something fantastic if they want to take this game.
Yeah, you can see those odds on your screen, provided by the wonderful folks over at Betway. They're going to be very much in favour of the Danes, and I can get behind the Day train as well, as it looks to try and derail NIP here. On this map, I think... no matter how you conduct yourself here, if you're NIP, it's going to be an uphill battle. You can see they've gone for the full eco. They get that buy in the next round with the extra loss bonus. So that's always something to take into account. You can see Magis going to be going toe-to-toe with the boys down here towards Ivy. Only has a USP and armor. And you can already see, I mean, the effect that this has even on the CT side, right? You don't have those SMGs brought up because you don't have as much of a grace period. You can see Magis knowing that they're going to be... well, at least assuming they're going to be on an eco here, only with that USP.
I'd say that's a very dangerous thing to do, considering this economy is yet to be established in what every team likes to do and how they're going to approach it, and case by case. So risky.
I think
but when you're Astralis,
well, I mean, just like even with a USP, I'm pretty good. So. Still, it's a gamble that looks like it might pay off. Speaking of gambles that might pay off, Glaive maybe gets a bit too big for his boots there, but Device there with the trade. The rest of the boys barreling down into this B-bomb site. They have to try and get past the moors of Zipnix as well, and the bombs dropped at the ramps. This round's all said and done. There should be absolutely no way that NIP find anything here. It's just Forrest left alive. Somehow he snuck by. They don't actually know that he's here, but they do manage to spot him out eventually. Never mind. Didn't really get to build that up too much, Hugo.
It was a Glock round.
It was a Glock round indeed. And now we get to see the buy come on in. There's no AWP out for the T side. Instead, it's just going to be rifles upon rifles here. Do we see an SG board up?
No. Full AKs. I don't think
like if there ever was going to be a map to do it, this is the map. I really
don't think we're going to see that much SG usage. I don't think like while of course the money thing is going to make it maybe more common, but it's you know, it's not like teams were ever playing with it anyway, and when they had, you know, huge amounts of money. So what's the point now? It's gone down by a couple $100. Like it's not gonna be a huge motivating factor, I don't think, for most teams who've learned how to use the AK and the M4 so much. And well, we're seeing that on NIP right now on those AKs. Fast A play, quick into the yard, and they've already taken 3 kills with them. But if we think back to that previous map, Harry, how many disadvantageous situations did Astralis bail themselves out from? It was pretty ridiculous. However, this one's not going to be easy at all. Post plants on train. NIP are going to have a lot of angles covered, and Dupree's walking into one of them. Slow peek to his death. Lekro finds that. And now Zipnik's on the back flank. He is just going to have to hold on to his weapon because NIP, they picked up a round and they've done it early at least this time.
Yeah, that was pretty convincing as well from NIP. So maybe a sign of things to come here on train as the Swedes fielding an early round here on their T side, keeping 3 players alive as well. Maybe we see a few of them go running into the waiting arms of Zipnik's here outside of the A-bomb site. But even then, a round is a round, and NIP, they have to take comfort in that fact. So already off to a good start here. Take a look over at the Danish economy, and it's still pretty... it's pretty bad, actually. So that's going to be causing them to run into all sorts of issues now here early on. A chance for NIP to find themselves at a 2-2 scoreline. You can see they've cobbled together a bit of a buy here. Device going to have the scout to work with. Rifles up between Zipnik's and Magisk, and this scout has to really do damage, soften up these players so that the pistols can find something. Glaive, how's he stayed alive that long? And now Rez desperately trying to carve a path back into this round. For NIP, there's players all around, and he is able to win the fight out versus Dupree. 2 rifles still up though for Astralis. Magisk now caught rotating away. But he's looked fantastic today, so you can't count him out of this one just yet.
I'd love to hear the comms of that round there from Astralis, from NIP, because there's so many players just diving through smokes up close with pistols, repositioning. Everyone's flashed. I mean, I don't speak Swedish, so I don't know what they'd be saying, but I'm sure it would be pretty crazy. 2-2 now, Harry, and Astralis, they are sitting down and taking another eco for now, it seems, because again, you're going to want those rifles, so $3,000 per player, and just a hard, flat USP by 1 HE grenade to try and burst that into T-con potentially, or stop an early B rush. That's going to be Magisk throwing it right into main, and NIP, they haven't set up there just yet, but...
So, what pro was... I think it was Elige tweeted how everyone's going to be using the SG in like a few weeks when they've learnt the spray pattern. It might have been him. It was someone from an NA team. I'm not too sure about that, I'll be honest. I think old habits die hard. I think, you know, people won't really want to switch off the AK. You know, I mean, like, the SG is interesting, right? But I struggle to see where it really fits in. I can't wait for a team to potentially run, like, a really... Oh, no, hang on a minute. We're talking over this round because normally you're not meant to win these, but Astralis, they're doing a bloody good job. And having a damn good attempt here. It looks like it might all get shut down. They've scavenged a few of these AKs, and now we're back into a 2-on-2. I swear to God, if they manage to pick this up, Hugo, they... love doing the impossible, do the Danes. They've been able to pull this back into a 2v2, but get right now, flanking on round onto Glaive. Might miss the timing. Device gonna find him, and now that's the bomb left on the back of Rez in a 1v2. And a 1v2 that never should have been. They only ran into this round against the pistols on Astralis. Rez with so much on his plate. 1v2 to find they don't have armor, so Aim Punch going to play into this, but they've wrapped around, they've set up a bit of a crossfire, and Rez, he does spot the man out on the ladder. So now just Device to try and deal with, and Rez is going to get the job done in the 1v2. NIP narrowly finding themselves a 3rd round. But that was versus USP.
Yeah, like not a dollar spent past that HE grenade that found nothing in the early rounds. So you can be thankful the Reds wins that clutch, but at the end of the day, you have to be questioning, okay, how the hell do we lose 4 players to that round? A nice play from Glaive as well. He ran through a Molotov in the 2v3 to try and pull things back into a 2v2. And was able to catch out a player pushing down Olaf. That's a really ballsy play to make, but again, it's the kind of play you're going to make on an eco, and that's why we see these eco wins sometimes get really out of control, because you're not going to do that on a buy round. The consequences are massive if you lose it, but on a USP round, you can afford to run through a smoke or a molly, for example, Fast kills coming out here for Astralis. Glaive is bailing them out of this one with 2 in the pop dog, and a Molotov's going to force him up the ladder, but there's no one there from the T side to shut him down. Instead, NIP have both pushed down Olaf. Magisk is holding on to that CT spawn as well, and there's still Device on the bomb site, but Letcro will take him down a notch. 3-on-2 here for Astralis, but they're even rotating back off of B, and that's dropping the bomb from the top of the train. Forrest caught with his knife out, and he's stuck in a very, very awkward spot, jumping, and Magisk's going to finish him off. So nice round from Astralis there. Instantly, a couple of ecos go to a rifle round, and they'll pick it up. Now NIP, they've got really nothing to work with. That economy has come back to bite. And that's what happens when you lose 4 players against USPs, Harry.
Yeah, arguably, it's deserved. You know, it is going to be just a partial investment here. Maybe we see Rez go for something. He's got himself a Deeg. The Deeg's out actually across the board almost. So it's nearly a good old-fashioned deco. Get right and Letcro going to be making it so we can't call it that. But it's... Okay. But still, if you're NIP at this point, you're looking to try and waste as much utility over on the side of Astralis as you can. Force as much rebuys as possible. Try and keep that economy down low, because you know that a lot of these rounds have been down to the wire for either side. There's still very much a way back into this for NIP. Right now, going to be 3 players set up towards us in a bomb site. Astralis just reading NIP like a book. Even have that fast flank ready to come on in as well from the man in Pop Dog. Ooh. Just going to miss the timing right now. NIP very, very fortunate to not lose anyone down towards the pop position. Now going to be exiting out from Ivy. Forest somehow able to dispatch of Magisk. That's starting to pull rotations back towards this A bomb site. So the bomb can go down here for NIP. This is shaping up to be what could be a big round from them. Yeah,
because of this delayed push out B, Astralis is starting to question whether it is actually B play, and their assumption will be correct. 4v4 now as that plant does come in, and now these players have got to rotate back to this B bomb site, but maybe they don't. In fact, Device and Xyp9x have done all the work here, leaving just Dennis and Forrest, the latter of which is still on that long flank. Dennis missing a crucial shot that would have taken down Xyp9x, who was already low HP, and now he's got to step up against players with their health to play with. Device happy to take that gunfight, and Forrest is just desperately running back towards his bomb site, but there's no way he can stop the defuse. Astralis have 4 players to jump on it, and they're going to be covering off all the exteriors, so no way for Forrest back into the round. The defuse comes in. Not a bad eco from NIP at all. They send that one lurk player, Forrest, down Ivy to try and do one of 2 things. He can either initiate, and if he gets a kill like he does to Magisk, then Astralis start to question whether it is really a B play, and we see those players drawn off of the close positions, like Glaive was playing close on the site, and instead he falls back. Alternatively, Forrest can even go for that long flank through connector if Astralis, you know, fully rotated off of that A bomb site, but that won't be the factor. It's going to be the round going the way of the CT side, and now 4-3. We've still got a buy here for NIP after that bomb plant, but no AWPs to play with for the Ninjas.
Aggression early on toward the... it's going to actually net NIP a pretty favorable scenario right now. Forrest even to continue this reign of terror as he picks up Glaive down towards Pop Dog. There's one man watching this A bomb site. That man is Magisk, and he's laying down the pain train right now. He's still got that much more to give. Letcro is out from Pop Dog. The bomb looking to go down here for NIP. So a 3v3 with bomb planted. It's looking good for the Swedes. Astralis going to start to creep on in, and they do spot a man crossing into Pop Dog. Dennis at the forefront of their worries, and he drops Magisk now. Dupree's attention just going to pull away at the wrong time. That nets Dennis's 2nd kill of the round, and suddenly it's Device in a 1v3. He does find that first kill, but this should be it for the Danish AWPer.
Yeah, great flashbang onto Dennis there, but with no one to follow up for it, cannot go for this round. Too focused on that Pop Dog, and in fact, it was Rez that crossed into that earlier on, and they've already taken him down. Nice shot from Device. He is at least making this costly, and that's the problem for NIP. Again, the same as we saw earlier after they lost 4 players to USPs. They still have a rifle round afterwards, but the second they lose that rifle round, they're down to pistols. So, yes, okay, NIP 4-4. Great scoreline considering this is a very CT-sided map, and they've got Astralis on eco. But if Astralis were to bounce back and win a round, then NIP would have nothing to play with. And that's always a huge worry. That being said, going back to it, 4-4. This is all right for the Ninjas, considering they've now already got the same amount of rounds they got in the entire previous map. However, Astralis, they are force buying this issue. 2 AWPs, a couple of M4s as well, and a very aggressive start. Rez going to get forced out of main. 20 HP left on him. Astralis, they show a lot of presence on A, they throw a lot of utility, and then they double rotate. We've got a triple B stack now, and NIP not walking into that.
Now they're setting up what looks like this A play here in toward this outer bomb site. Magisk with one of these orbs going to be keeping his eye on Ivy. That's a quick flick to land onto Letcro, so he's going to get deleted from the server early on here. Now NIP a man down. There was the opportunity to trade, and as Forrest misses that shot, he will not be given a second one. Will get smoked off by Magisk now. Turning his attention back towards main, where Dennis resides. Smoke's going to start to rain on in. That's thrown over by Rez. Magisk even spots a man on the cross. Dupree able to peek over the top of that smoke. Won't get spotted by the ever watchful Get Right, but Magisk trying to answer back, and he's almost able to land that flick once again. It's Glaive on this wraparound that could make all the difference right now for the Danes.
Yeah, if they're not ready for this one, he is sneaking as well, but a quick check from the back. Forrest is going to get the kill. Massive impact now, catching out the IGL of Astralis, leaving them now just the 2 CTs left up. Get Right's dropped another, and it's just Device left. The bomb has been found, but can he follow up? It's a no. Get Right saves the day there for Ninjas. 3 kills from him, left on 12 HP. If that kill comes through and Get Right goes down with 15 seconds left and the bomb out in the open, that's probably an Astralis round. So huge final kill there from Get Right. 5-4 for NIP, and they've actually put Astralis back to pistols once again. We had that force in the previous, but Astralis had a lot going into it. 2 AWPs and 2 M4s. However, now, quite the opposite scenario, Harry. They're straight down to some USPs, some CZs, some Deagles. So this is NIP's chance to really start to run away with this half if they haven't already, but Dupree, he wants to deny it. Only losing a little bit of health. Rez even gets shot by his teammate. He's going to get flashed back in, but won't go for this. And again, these pistols are so dangerous up close. So NIP don't want to risk losing already a second man and going 5-on-3 in just the first 30 seconds of the round. Instead, Get Right pushes solo B, but he doesn't realize it's a bit of a bait. Dupree's playing with a ladder to bait Get Right in so the other players can push up the stairs. They've actually gone for the boost. Wrap Brown behind him, and Device gets the kill. This is the 5v3 after all now, and NIP, they might be in a world of hurt.
Oh, Letcro joined up with Rez, going to start to push on in, trying to make something happen of this round, but you're dead on. NIP, significant man disadvantage, and you managed to spot out Glaive. Rez there to pick it up. Letcro going to chain together a second as these two going to be trying to cook up something magical inside of this A bomb. Suddenly only Dupree here, and Rez able to pick him up as well. Now leaves all the pressure onto Device on this wraparound, and Forrest, looking like he had the read. Turns his attention away. Device timing this perfectly. Starts to push on forward now. Forrest locked in this door with him, and he's going to go ahead and win that. That will be NIP securing themselves a 6th round here on their T side. Already going above and beyond what we saw of them on Overpass.
Yeah, that's almost Astralis coming back to bite themselves there, right? They get aggressive, they get those first couple of kills. That's, what you want to see on these eco rounds. But then, after picking up the guns, they settle back into a passive 5-on-3, and they're playing at ranges where NIP are definitely going to be favored in those gunfights. Get no armor on Astralis, even behind those rifled players, so NIP win the duels. Letcro gets a couple on that A bomb site, and it just falls apart from there. So nice 3v5 from NIP, pulling it back from an early disadvantage. And of course, that's a double-edged sword, right? Astralis, I'm not necessarily saying they should play aggressive after they take a 5v3, but the fact that they do play passive gives NIP so much room to work. 6-4 now. Tactical timeout for Astralis. That'll run dry pretty quickly, and now we're back into things. But what have they got to show for us, Harry? Because right now, surprise, surprise, it's more pistols for the Danes.
Well, Forrest, cleanup crew is in. He's able to go and open things up in this round for NIP. Quick on the trigger with that AWP to depth in the early man advantage. Dennis even going to dispatch a Dupree. So this time around, the pistol's not getting anything done. His Magisk pushing up through. Forrest Forest does actually let Magisk get into position, instantly able to trade that out, so it doesn't cause them too many problems. That will be the round going the way of NIP once again. They keep it pretty clean as well, Hugo.
Yeah, they've just broken the money time after time after time for Astralis, so this is a great half from NIP. I mean, 7 rounds T-side train. We are not done just yet. Another buy round for the Danes, but even with 2 AWPs here, they're going to need as much as they can surviving forward, because again, we've had them on pistols so many times this half. And while Astralis are usually very good with these force buys, they haven't been converting them too well in this map. Get right. Oh, that's a sick nade. Oh my god, the molly even forces him forward into the open. Glaive's going to get that kill for free. The captain of Astralis with some nice utility usage to start off the round. And they definitely needed that pick as well, because this is already a bit of an awkward situation in terms of the score. Forest spotted on that jump with the AWP. So Glaive going to reposition. He doesn't want to take that fight anymore, because Forest, he's out. And he's out and about, dropping Device already. Rez has even traded his death, but Glaive is still up close, and do they realize it?
Yeah, Glaive going to start to edge on forward. Gets that trade onto, or equalizer rather, onto your boy Rez. Now going to start to back away, but this B bomb site is primed and ready and open for business. That's on the back of this frag from Dennis. Rotation from Letcrow looking to try and come on through. You will get there. A lot of this is going to come down to the timing in this Magisk v Dennis duel that we're about to see go down inside of this B bomb site. Dennis holding aggressive right now. You can see Glaive on a very lengthy pilgrimage of his own, going on a journey that to try and find Astralis around, although he's very, very deep in the back line. Dennis spotting out Magisk. That's a free kill all day long, and Glaive now left in this 1v2. He decides he'd rather save. Smoke. There you go.
Big brain.
Big brain, big aim. And something else that rhymes with that. 8-4, Hugo.
That doesn't rhyme at all. NIP bringing the pain, though. Yeah, this is a very dominant T-side half, Harry.
It most certainly is. My one issue is, right, it's NIP. They're looking good. You know, I love a bit of nip magic. You love to see them rolling back the years and finding success. But I also feel like, in the same vein, you can never count Astralis out.
Yeah, like, can NIP keep this up on that second half? Because we already know Astralis' T-sides on this map are not going to be easy to deal with. That being said, how much T-side will we see, Harry? Because right now, NIP are just looking to get this done in the first 15 rounds. Of 12, they have taken 8. And still a couple more left. Again, all too familiar territory for Astralis. Back to pistols. This one saved AWP from the previous round. Device needs to be a playmaker. He needs to try and open this one up. Magisk, he's pushed down Ivy, and the flashes will rain through, so NIP making it very clear they're here. Magisk maybe going to try and retreat after the spraying has stopped, because this is not a position you want to be in up against 3 Ts. Oh, that's unfortunate. Smoke shot for Forest lands perfectly. But look, at Astralis, they're not done with just a bit of aggression, Harry. They want more, and more, and more. But Rez waiting on the other side here in main.
Yeah, that's the issue with always wanting more, Hugo. It's one of the 7 sins. Greed. Here is a man who just loves to take a little bit more than he's allowed to have. It's Device finding the equalizer now for Astralis. Back into the 4-on-4 right now, and Letcrow starting to spearhead this offensive into the A-bomb, so he does have the bomb hot on his tail. That's Forest looking to try and get that down. Device flashed off the angle, allows Letcrow to net himself the second of this round. Bomb plant comes in, and yeah, Letcrow's seeing ghosts. I think he believes he's spotted someone else sat down towards his position. This is going to free up Dupree's flank a little bit. But still spotted by Rez. And dropped now as well. It's going to be a 9th round on the board for NIP. They're looking good here on their T side of train, Hugo.
And we're seeing some great utility usage as well coming out from the Swedes. Some really good flashbangs, some nice smoke walls to cut off any lines of sight that Astralis have, which is of course extremely important on train. Especially when you're playing up against, I want to say one of the best AWPer in the world, or one of the best AWPers in the world. I don't really know.
If you're going by stats, he is the best AWPer in the world.
There we go then. The numbers don't lie, Harry.
The numbers never lie, Hugo.
And 9-4, this isn't lying, as much as it will seem like a fantasy. NIP not just in the lead, but by an extremely confident fashion.
Yeah,
this is the polar opposite of Overpass.
Yeah, the Betway odds at the start of this said it was like 5 to 1,
Yeah.
0.1 in favor of Astralis.
I would have agreed with that.
Yeah, NIP looking to try and upset well, not just the results, but maybe a few bettors right now, as they want to try and defy the odds.
I mean, if you're betting on 1.1 odds, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they're looking to try and make bettors happy. That would be a better way to phrase that. You're dead on, Hugo. You're dead on. You're never wrong.
I disagree with that one.
But,
at least we do have a buy here for Astralis.
Yes, we do indeed. And Forrest going to be done in the AWP still over on the side of NIP. He's been pretty good with that in these last few rounds, but Dupree holding close towards main. That's where they first look to try and lay down the pain. Sadly, they find everyone's favorite Dane, and that'll be Rez. Securing the man advantage once again. Magisk. Continuing a bit of aggression here. Hands down Rez, but not quite enough to find the kill. If only they gave them 94 HP, he'd be golden. There's going to be your boy Device opening things up. He bests Forrest there in the AWP duel. Going to continue homing in his sights as now he sees the bomb.
Oh, that's a big kill as well. That's going to shut down the split. Glaive finds 2. And that's completely cut NIP in half. Just Dennis now left up as Device is even going to follow up, dropping the bomb in main. And while Dennis will have the element of surprise that will only lead him enough for 1 kill, he's now got to retrieve that bomb with 38 seconds left up. Not only deal with his flanking CT, but also try and get himself onto the bomb site. Glaive not going to move for the time being, just in case this long wrap does come through. But Dennis being spotted in T-Con is going to mean that Glaive can now activate that flank once again. There it is, Magisk from the top of the train, finishing off. Glaive not even needed. And that's another round for Astralis. They even saved 2 AWP, so 5 to 9. Slightly better than that of a moment ago, because again, every time Astralis had taken these rifle rounds, NIP had just pushed them onto pistols instantly. So we kind of do want a full buy for the last round of the half for both teams, and NIP is certainly going to have that after this huge T-side streak. Again, as you said, Harry, there's always that question mark. This is certainly not a done deal. This is certainly not a 1 game for NIP, despite the really strong first half. But if there was going to be a game they could win, this is certainly looking good for them.
Yeah, I have to agree with that right now, especially as they win that fight versus Device. On the back of it, they look to charge in towards B. Might be a false sense of security, though, as Zipnix and Glaive send them back down to the depths from which they came, and Forrest now pushing on in. Homing in his sights with the AWP, has been able to find one. Ooh, a second as well. Forrest looking cheeky. Will get traded out by Zipnix. Now leaves all the pressure onto Dennis. 1v2. Both players for Astralis down inside of this B bomb site. Bomb still to be retrieved as it currently lies down towards the ramp. Dennis has been spotted as well. Brought down to just 1 HP, and this should be the end of him. That's Dupree locking in a 6th round there at the end of the first half for the Danes.
Yeah, I mean, even with those last couple of rounds grabbed by Astralis, will that be enough to drag them forward? Again, I want to talk about pistol rounds, but honestly, I don't know, because we don't know how these teams are going to approach it. We've seen NIP win both pistols on Overpass, and Astralis just go for that standard 2nd round eco, and then buy up on the 3rd. And even in this first half, we saw Astralis actually finally pick up a pistol, and did NIP full eco that 2nd round? Pretty sure they did. Either way. Oh yeah, they did. Yeah. Went for those Glocks, but for now, I think the pistol is going to be a big mark on how the second half goes, especially if you can actually lose pistol and win that follow-up. This has been something we were already talking about on Overpass. If you can win the second round after losing pistol, it's so much better than before. Really set you up for a strong early start to the half, and I think that's kind of, if we look back to Overpass, that's kind of how a lot of it happened. It just got out of control. Astralis got the first few rounds after NIP won their initial pistol round, and then we just had so much money on Astralis' T side that, yeah, there's nothing NIP really could have done in terms of getting the economy back in control, and they couldn't win the rounds to follow up with it either. So either way, this map is a bit different. Things are certainly looking positive for the Swedes, but they have to capitalize on it, Harry. They can't just let it slip here with a 9-round T-side lead as they go into their second half.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw these two teams play versus each other on this map, it was a victory for Astralis, and it was a 9-6 half there once again, only this time it was in favor of the Danes. So maybe with the tables swapped on round, we can see NIP look to field a good CT side here and split the series 1-1 versus Astralis. That would be a massive turnaround here for the Ninjas in Pyjamas. It's going to be early aggression, though, charging on in toward this A bomb site. Zipnix is the man to open up, and now the bomb goes on down for Astralis. Those deadly Danes working their way up close with these pistols. For NIP already looking pretty locked out of this round, but Forrest through the smoke, he's found a quick double. He's made this all possible, and he's going to continue to charge into the waiting guns of Device, who does pick up the trade. But still, Dupree and Glaive left to try and deal with the bomb. Going to be planted for Pop Dog, but Glaive now left alone in a 1v3.
Oh, and he's heard the flank as well. He's going to go back. Quick ding to get right. That's a lot of damage, but they are on the bomb and they're sticking it as well. They finally get off that defuse just to finish off the kill, and Rez will do exactly that, but there's plenty of time for this defuse for NIP. Well, not really plenty, but they'll have it. And yeah, a couple of missed shots there from Astralis, and NIP are back in control of this one, keeping things, well, kosher on this CT side. 10-6, and bomb plant for Astralis with that $1,900 loss bonus. So, assuming they do the same as Overpass, this will be that eco. A couple of pistols here and there, but let's see if they can, or at least the NIP side can run away with this one.
Yeah, I mean, this could be... I mean, take a look at those odds. Look at how much closer this is, but still people favor the Danes. Currently sitting 4 rounds behind NIP. And that just goes to show the Astralis effect. You can never, ever count these guys out, no matter how much nip magic you spring their way. They're going to be setting up outside of this B bomb site right now, Hugo. They've gone once again just for this pistol buy, where you pick up a tiny bit, but you're looking for the buy in the next.
Nip magic sounds like a toiletry, like a deodorant, or like a shampoo, like fix baldness with nip magic. Smell fresh.
How is deodorant on parallel with like a spray that fixes baldness?
You know what I mean? Like, it could just make you smell really good. I don't know.
That fixes. No one will notice that you don't have hair if you smell nice. That's basically the real.
Draw attention to your positive features. Not to say that baldness isn't a positive feature.
Yeah, just keep digging this hole, Hugo.
No, I'm not digging any hole, Harry.
Here we go. Look,
Astralis running
we'll
into the
get you
hole.
out from underneath this bus in the same way they managed to get them out from underneath the train inside of this inner bomb site. They find everybody, Hugo. NIP looking good. They keep 5 alive, and that's what you want to see if you're a Nip fan, which we all are at heart. You a big fan of Nips?
Love them.
Yeah, well. Here's the replay of this, by the way. Nice stuff from Dennis.
Ooh, the reverse 360. I like that. Either way, 11-6, Harry. Things are heating up, and I'm not just talking about T-Con. Astralis, they're starting to go down, and this is their round they need to win. If Astralis let this one slip, there's a very good chance NIP take this map. And what a way that would be after getting 16 forward on Overpass. And not even looking close. I mean, the only player who was really alive in that previous map was Get Right, and at least over on this, he's the bottom player in the server, so that doesn't really bode well. But the scoreline does, however. Close main play from Forest. Already a lot of utility has been expended from this NIP side. They've got the incendiaries left up, and that's what's important. Try and delay those fast pushes from Astralis. The likes of which are set up outside of this A bomb site. Glaive just keeping his eyes on B, making sure no one gets aggressive here. Now as the nades are beginning to go over the bomb site, we have 3 players close here for NIP. That smoke may completely cut off this split.
It's a bit of an awkward fight. Still, he's able to win it out. And in the meantime, Forrest and Lekra, they've showed up in spades. Just one man left alive here for the Danes, and he's got 20 HP to his name. Rez is there to shut him down, and that's a 12th round locked in for NIP. Now doubled at the score of Astralis, 12-6, and currently going undefeated on their CT side. It's back to the drawing board here for Astralis. There's no money in those bank accounts, and well, this Danish economy that was once looking so great now called into question.
That's those 60% taxes, Harry.
Yeah, that'll do it. That or the taxis here. Very expensive, but you know, you live a life of luxury out here in Denmark, so you know that's where it's going, Hugo. You wouldn't know about paying taxes, though.
Shh, they're onto me. Get Right's down here on B, and he's going to have a very tough task. That Molotov well, doesn't land too well, but it will actually cover it. And Dennis has got Get Right's back with 4 kills. Nade forcing Glaive back up the ramp and likely to his death because look at that flank coming through from the pop dog. Won't even matter. Get Right finishes off, steals the ace. That's 2 4Ks on the B side now for Dennis this map. On the CT side, on anti-ecos. He is loving the stat padding.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, last time they played on this map as well, Dennis was kind of the guy stepping up for them. This time, you know, you take a look at it, you got Forest up at the top of the board, Rez showing up as well. Get Right, not having the most amazing of games right now, but you think back to Overpass, he was kind of the one dude actually putting up numbers, actually finding some success for NIP. And that was what was missing the last time these guys played. It was all Dennis. No one else was really there to step up alongside him. And this time we have the rest of the squad firing on all cylinders. You know, Dennis getting those eco frags. He's getting some for himself as well. So sharing is caring, and NIP, they are looking fantastic right now.
Nice to see Dennis showing us that you can actually get multi kills with awful weapons like the FAMAS and the A1S. Terrible, terrible guns, but he's going to get it done. NIP already a man up in this round, Harry.
He's a big fan of the unconventional, is Dennis. Here's Get Right. Very unconventional way to hold the bomb site. Just not falling at the first hurdle. So Nick's there to pick that up. But in the meantime, Forest is in with a reply, and that's what NIP have been good at, keeping these man advantages up, getting these trades. Now the pressure falls to Glaive to try and go aggressive. Try and seize back a man advantage, and indeed he will. He's at least toppled Let Grow. And now he falls back. NIP have to be very, very wary that someone could be pushed up aggressive. Magisk even going to be donning this SG, so do we finally get to see magic moment? This man was once a Magisk boy. Looks to now be the Magisk man inside of this team. No, I was going to say 1v3. I'd love to see him 1v3, but his teammates alongside him, and the SG does nothing. It's pretty useless. But here's the defuse and Glaive, able to find them both. So now just Forest left up. Does successfully topple the IGL of Astralis, but there's no time, Hugo. There's no way for him back into this. Astralis picking up a 7th round.
Yeah, by the skin of their teeth. 4 HP the difference on that final surviving player. Massive impact from Glaive to get both those kills. And actually, not only find the first, but continue the spray after he heard the tap on the bomb. Aware that there was not just one single man in that smoke. 13-7 here. We're even going to see a tech pause called out from Astralis here, who are obviously down a lot of rounds. But after winning 1, they're aware that, okay, NIP have a bit of a bank to play with. If they win this follow-up round, not only do they get 14, but they reset Astralis up against near the end of the game. So very important that Astralis actually convert 2 in a row here. And as you said a couple of rounds ago, flawless CT half for NIP so far. Finally been broken, but I don't think they're going to be too worried. Got plenty of money on this CT side. So the rebuys are in, a couple of K left per player as well. You've even got $7,000 on Forest, and he's been having a fantastic game. Top of that server, pulling us back the years, well, rolling back the years rather. Astralis may be looking to go for a bit of a B attack this time. They send 4 of the 5 players up into the box halls. We've got that Ivy push from Forest. He's looking to get a lot of info, and he does do so, clearing out all of these positions. Magisk going to be holding back passive, but he's actually setting up utility. I don't think... Can Forest see the back of Magisk's legs there? It almost looks like he can, but clearly not aware of it. Astralis set up utility towards this B bomb site. Let's see if NIP draws some heavy rotates. They've got 2 players down here already, but great shot from Device. Problem is 2 of his teammates are falling and make that a 3rd. Dupree getting decked, and Dennis is showing them how to do it here with the A1S. 3 frags from him up against rifles this time. No more eco frags, and Letgro's even going to clean it up. Harry, that is the reset at round 14 for NIP. Not a worse time to get that.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Dennis is, you know, he's... I've enjoyed watching him with this silenced M4. Usually I just hate seeing it, but he's looked absolutely clinical with it right now. Then again, I always make the switch, and then instantly I'm like, why have I done this?
Yeah, I would never use it, but it's nice to see people can.
Exactly. Here is, Hugo, this buy from Astralis. It's not great if you're an Astralis fan. Probably fantastic if you're an NIP fan, though, because there's really not much for them to work with here. They don't have any utility apart from that 1 smoke on Glaive. So still yet to be seen where they try and use it. And Rez picking up a quick double. That was the smoke dropped as well, so they don't even have that to play with anymore. Dennis going to go and burn out Dupree. Let's just leave Device and Magisk left up with a scout and a deagle between them. These 2 now with a taller order than ever to try and get Astralis back into a 2v5. Magisk has managed that 1 kill. There's players still coming his way. Oh. Yeah. maybe don't give Device too many of these, but NIP go hunting. They find themselves match point, 15-7 here on Train. Just one more round, all that they need to split this series 1-1 tonight versus, the best team in the world. So that's not too shabby.
Yeah, and like we've seen pretty much this entire game, Astralis back on pistols. Again, not the weaponry to fight back up against a fully equipped NIP. Struggled in the previous. I can't imagine how this will go either. We've got CZs, we've got a lot of utility, which is going to be something boding well for the Astralis camp. But the auto sniper's out, Harry. The Doom Hammer is on get right. And Forrest, he's going aggressive as well. Look at this fast Ivy play, but Magiska's already been cut down through Olaf. The orb shot missing for Lekra, but Forrest is just bailing his team out, tap after tap, coming through with a third, and he's even going to finish off with 4. That's the round, that's the map, and NIP have taken success and victory over Astralis.
Yeah, they most certainly have. The Ninjas cannot be too disappointed with that one as they split the series tonight versus the Danes. It wasn't the strongest of starts from them, but they're able to pick things up in the very sweet kind of bitter end. That will be that first series, 1-1 as we say. I'm going to throw this one back over to Trace and Chad as they look to try and break this down a bit for us.
Yes, thank you very, very much, guys. You have nailed it as usual. And I suppose that with this one was just quite a bit of a different showing, huh, Chad?
Well, they showed up, right? We spoke about the fact that the Ninjas in Pyjamas needed to be able to actually put in a performance to get the victory here. There's a few things that played into this one. Obviously, Forrest and Dennis having a pretty stellar game. You have to think about this. It was a team effort from the Ninjas in Pyjamas on Train here. You know where I want to take the conversation. You know what I want to look to talk about here.
I know what's on your mind. I know what's getting at you at this point in time.
I'm just curious if now the whole thing is Valve have realized that they've actually nerfed SMGs. Let's talk about a couple different scenarios that can go on now with this whole economy situation. Here in that first half, what we saw happen was the guys from Astralis are able to win a pistol. Thumbs up. Fantastic. That was really good. The guys from the Ninjas in Pyjamas didn't get a plant. They took a full save, knowing that they're going to get that $2,400 bonus going into the next round. Once we have that $2,400 bonus going into the next round, we're going to see the fact of the matter is they're able to get that gun round up. But Astralis have no need to buy SMGs in the second round. They need to buy FAMASs, they need to buy M4s, and you even saw Magic's boy hold on to UOSP, right? That means they need to prepare for the first gun round from the second round. We didn't see any SMGs come out from them. So does that mean the flow-on effect now is we're going to see less SMGs in play, less making of money with that, which means the CT economy is going to be hamstrung even more? Because if you can't farm with the SMG, now the influence of the $1,400 hard reset on the CT side plays an even bigger factor. They went on, they lost 3 rounds in a row. They were able to bounce back with the gun round of theirs, which forced Ninjas in Pyjamas onto an eco, but that was due to a lot of damage they did with USPs on a full save round, right?
Right. I mean, I guess what we've known of Counter-Strike in terms of the early portions of rounds, or how they considerably play out at least, is, you win first pistol, you're almost guaranteed that first 3-round stretch. But now, I don't know, it's a weird thing, because I feel like, yes, we still haven't seen enough of it, but if we're going to see a team do it, and how they want to approach it's going to have to be the Astralis team.
Well, there's lots of different ways to paint this, right? And I'm going to disagree with the fact about that 3 in a row. I'm one of the people who thinks that the 3 in a row is by no means, at least in the old version of Counter-Strike, going to be gifted to any team, right? If we look at the flow of rounds from this game right here, like I said, I started with Astralis on the opening the 2 rounds, right? So pistol round, and then they had the upgrade round, which they won. They didn't take much damage at all because the players from NIP were able to, had to go full eco because they wanted to have the 3rd round gun round, right? So then they win the 3rd round gun round. Astralis go for a force buy, because now they're just back in this normal position they'd be in where they have no money. They go for a force buy, they have scouts, they have pistols, whatever. So if they win that round, then they can have that fight for the economy just a few rounds later than what we normally would, right? So they're not able to win that fight for the economy. Then they have to full eco. They do a lot of damage on the full eco. Then they go on, they lose. So now we're talking, we've lost a gun round, we've lost a force buy round, and we've lost an eco round. We'd normally see those 3 things pan out in the first 3 rounds of a game anyway. Yep. Right? Well, first 4 rounds of a game anyway. Now we've seen that happen within the first 5 rounds. Now we flow on to the next gun round. Astralis are able to win, which forces NIP onto an eco. Now, the only reason that they had to eco in that scenario is because they took so much damage to the full USP round. That's the only reason in that regard. So we still have the same problem of the CTs getting the hard reset when they lose a round. That's always going to be there with the the $1,400 loss bonus. It's just the start of these rounds are going to have lots of different formulas going into them, and one of them that could be a common trend is the nerfing of SMGs, because they're not actually coming out. It's not the weapon's getting any worse, it's just taking it away from being an optimal decision to buy the SMG. It doesn't make sense, because you're going to go into that first gun round now with SMGs against AKs in full utility.
Right, and I guess even looking back before the patch, you didn't necessarily see a bunch of people just springing out to buy the AUG and the SG at that point. I mean, there was a little bit more money in their pockets, and perhaps they didn't have to go that route.
Yeah, and that's another thing which I think that's going to take a lot more time. The casters touched on it while that game was here happening, that Alige made a tweet saying once everybody learns the spam patterns of those two guns, that everybody's going to be buying them. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Obviously, he's still a current professional, so he must have a feel for it more than I do. But that's only one of the things which is going to happen with time. All these different scenarios that we're breaking down, all this really deep Counter-Strike talk that you're going to hear me going through is because we are still learning. It's going to just be one of these things as I sit here and I monitor and I see what's in vogue, what's popular. It's going to take several months before this settles into a standardized version of Counter-Strike, right? Do we see the best team work out the best formula and be winning with it?
Well, we can talk a little bit about a young player, and dare I say he's not young.
At all. Also married. Has a beard.
Yes, and he has a motorcycle. In fact, take out the young part. Dennis is a man of men. Let's talk about Dennis.
Oh, I
and
thought you were
perhaps,
talking about Forrest.
No, I mean, he's also one, you should say. But we do have a little bit of a highlight package here of Dennis and what he was able to pull together, string over the tops of Astralis, and move them around like puppets, one might even say.
Yeah, and when we do look at Dennis in recent times, he made some comments that when they had their resurgence at the major, that he did feel that he let the team down individually, but they were still playing better. And that's true. They were playing better, and they were playing as a team, and they had a better brand, they had a better style. One of the better ones from the Ninjas in Pyjamas that we've seen in recent years, but he wasn't hitting all those shots which we expect of him, right? He is an impact player.
Right.
I don't think of him as like a carry star. I think of him as definitely an impact player. Whereas, like, you have Rez and Forrest, who I think are the more consistent carry stars for this NIP roster. I think Dennis has a lot of impact, like in multi-kill rounds. Garrett has impact with clutches and lurking. Lekra, obviously, he's still learning his position as the in-game leader. But for Dennis to have a good game here, that's a good confidence booster for him. And that's a much-needed victory for Ninjas in Pyjamas. We spoke about this, how important it is for them to start picking up wins. Because if we have a quick look here at the games which they've already lost in Pro League, now this is going to take me some time to get to, Trace.
Well, I mean, you were talking about Forrest, and I will say, don't mind him being old, because he still rocked over 180 R across Astralis here. I mean, this isn't a team that you can ever take lightly. These are guys that are usually on the very tip-top of that form and have no problems getting it done. Wherein Train, they couldn't get it done, could they, Chad?
Well, that's going to be very disappointing for them, right? I'm going to be interested. I would love to sit down and have a discussion with Glaive to see what he thinks of the new changes. I think everybody's going to be thinking this is something interesting. I wonder if it factors in, if they have to start coming up with new plans and new strategies, new ways to address this. But I'm still trying to find the Ninjas in Pyjamas on this bloody page. I should have gone to the actual ESL website for once.
Why don't you tell people where that is, Chad? ProLeague.com.
Well, you know the site's better than me, man.
Yeah, in fact, head over to ProLeague.com. You can learn a little bit about the road to Odense, which is where all of these teams are trying to go. It's not even far from where we are right now.
3 hours, right?
There's this cool bridge in between. Maybe we should take a road trip sometime, Chad.
Yeah, I think we're trying to push that. Do we want a B-stream update while we're at it?
It couldn't hurt, could it?
First game on the secondary stream, G2 versus Windigo, went to G2 16-14 on Dust 2. So they've just got through with the skin of their teeth in that one there, Trace. And the second game should be live right now. If you want to watch that one, you can go to live.proleague.com. All the streams down the left-hand side. You can choose a bunch of different languages, watch whatever you want to watch.
Yeah, and while you're at it, you can head over to esea.net/MDL and give yourself a surefire path to the pros. It's not just about the road to Odense. It's about the pathway to getting this far to begin with. Isn't that right, Chad?
Yeah, and like steps on becoming a pro. Maybe if you're at any of the ESL 1 events around, you can do the Alienware U versus Pro. We've had that happen a couple times. I'm actually one of the voices of the U versus Pro, Trace.
Are you?
Yeah, I think we had a video if you want to check that one out.
I mean, I suppose we could go that route.
When I was told that I'm going to be participating in the 1v1 challenge against Nitro on Saturday night at the Barclays Arena, I told myself, what am I going to do? Like, this is your time. No one cares what you've done before. It's all about what you're about to do. What you need to do now to excel, to show yourself. Basically a good luck charm at this point. Hopefully it just keeps on working. I mean, it was a life size when I bought it, but obviously it's shrunk a little bit. The fact that Nitro is willing to participate in a community event such as this, it really shows his character as a person. I don't think many pro players show themselves as well as Nitro does in the public eye. He's like, all right, I'm here for everyone. I'm here to win. Let's see it at the event. that is something to admire. It's something that everyone should strive to do. Be an impact to your community and bring the better out in everyone.
We're live. Because obviously needs to set the pace early.
That's it. His mechanics are absolutely flawless right now. I mean, he jiggle peeked me, he's hitting shots to the boxes. He knows, he's just very good at visualizing where I am and where I will be when I'm peeking a box.
That was good stuff,
Yeah, good game, man.
That's not about it.
Nah, I can do better. Always can do better. Playing against Nitro was probably the hardest thing I've done so far in my Counter-Strike, I guess you'd call it career. And it was a great experience. I enjoyed it, and I'd love to do it again.
Man, what an experience that must be, losing handedly to Nitro, but also he did get a few rounds in there. I think one person that might be just in awe at this time would happen to be that you're wearing the same shirt.
I'm actually wearing the same shirt that I had on that day. It's been washed. It has been washed.
It's not always the little things, Chad, but, you know, attention to detail is very pivotal here.
It's like I just teleported. My beard's maybe a little bit longer and the hair hasn't been cut. But the cool thing about that whole you versus pro situation is the players actually, the public get an appreciation when they go up against one of these guys of how good they are. You know, the thing is, the practice of aim map, it's not really in the repertoire of pros, right? Trace, you're a manager of a team, you know this. But you can just see how they apply themselves, how good their aim is, their awareness, the fact that they are always, you know, jiggle peeking, always spamming the corners. These little details they show in all facets of Counter-Strike, and that's what separates the best of the best from people just playing at home in their bedrooms.
Yeah, you know, Chad, as a reigning, you know, highest HSP and show match champion, but the accolades are really starting to stack up.
You've really got a few in your back pocket now.
You really got to feel for yourself when you have that much success. Tremendous, tremendous success. Isn't that right, Chad?
This is a humble brag, or?
In a roundabout sort of way, yes.
Yeah, I think the thing that I can just brag about is one of us can actually grow a beard and the other one of us can just throw some facial hair on their face like it looks like they have a bit of glue.
Now,
You've been down to a barber and you've picked up loose hair from the ground, put glue on your face and just gone whacked it on.
How did you know that that's what I did? I woke up early, went and scooped it up out of the barber shop, maybe sprinkle a little bit of tape, and then before you know it, we're jumping right into a VTR. Isn't that right, Chad?
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, let's do just that. Enough of Chad talking, because boy, do we hear enough of that. Let's go ahead and hear what is going on next.